5 service door and reach it all the way to the ground. And myself, it'd be kind of embarrassing, only halfway up the airplane and looking down about 15 feet and knowing you can't go back up and there's only one way down.
Well, that's it for the flight deck. One exception, however. At the extreme aft end of the flight deck compartment is an escape rope ladder. This ladder will usually be stowed, but ready for use. If you need it, you can use that to get down to the cargo compartment. All right, let's press on. Let's go to the troop compartment. If you're here in the troop compartment, the escape methods are about the same. You'll have 4 exits, each with an escape slide and an escape rope. You'll also have the troop ladder and escape rope that lead down to the cargo compartment. But if that egress has been jammed by shifting cargo, go for the slides. Open an exit and get an escape slide out. If you need to, get all 4 slides out. All slides work the same way. Disconnect the quick release buckle. Be sure the girt bar is locked into place. Lift the slide case, push it out, and slide. As Fred and Joe have suggested, lean back, lift your feet, cross your arms tightly over your chest, raise up at the end, and move out of the way fast. The escape slides are fast and easy to use, and they are reliable. But if a slide, any slide, doesn't inflate, there are 2 things you can do about it, right?
Grasp the green lanyard tube and follow it toward the slide. Locate the red metal link assembly T-bar marked pull. Pull the T-bar out of the green lanyard until the slide starts to inflate.
Supposing, just for the sake of discussion, that you could not inflate the slide from the troop compartment, what would you do then?
Well, push the slide out another exit and use it.
Well, if you had to, couldn't you send 4 men out on escape reels from the front hatches to hold the deflated slide and make an apron slide out of it?
Yes, you could. We did use a deflated chute as an apron slide. However, it was done in a 24-knot wind, and we encountered more problems than we could handle safely.
So you shouldn't use an apron slide?
Oh, no, you could use it, but I think you should consider the wind conditions and how many people you can get back to help you, set it up. Some of the people use the escape ropes to control their descent in the deflated chute, but it was just much too risky. No one was hurt, but because of the wind, it was pretty tricky.
What about using just the escape rope?
Yes, you could use just the escape rope, especially out of the cargo compartment. The ropes are only 11 feet long. However, you're fairly close to the ground at that level. But those long nylon ropes from the troop compartment are slick, and they can be tricky.
Well, now, these ropes are some 27 feet long with knots up to 20 inches apart, and they're strong enough to tow the C-5. So what's the problem for a good rope man?
Well, Joe is a good rope man, and he did have problems with it.
How's that?
Well, as he made it, after he'd made his exit out of the aircraft and had grabbed the rope to make a descent, his weight pulled him against the fuselage, and his hands and knuckles were mashed against the side of the aircraft. He was in such a position that there was just no clearance, and he couldn't lower himself. In fact, in the position that he was in, he couldn't go up or down, and he had to be rescued with a Calivar hoist.
Well, that's the voice of experience. But would you agree that all air crew members should know how to come down a rope?
Oh, yes, definitely. You never know when you might need to use one.
Well, while you weren't looking, Sergeant Beamer went to do his rope trick, and he's going to show you how it's done. Are you ready, Joe?
Ready, sir.
All right, here we go. Notice that Joe uses both hands on the rope, slides them one at a time, and he uses the knots, too. Joe, what's the most important thing to remember about the rope?
Don't let go. This is a hemp rope. You can get a real good grip on it. The aircraft ropes are nylon. They're a little slippery and can be tricky. You can't slide down the rope because it runs through your hands. It'll have a burning sensation, and you might let go of them, and it's a pretty long fall to the ground.
Fred, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, yes. As Joe said, aside from not letting go of the rope, consider your condition. It's really not as easy as it seems coming down that rope, and Because of a person's weight, he may have a tendency to overexert himself coming down. So you want to be careful if you're not in pretty good shape.
That's a good point. Remember, unless you're in top physical condition, lowering yourself on a rope can be tricky, especially during an emergency. Know what you can and cannot do with a rope, and know your own strength, too. Now, if you'll catch your breath, ease back a bit, we'll go downstairs to the cargo compartment. In the cargo compartment, you should be right at home with the escape equipment. There's an escape rope at each of the left and right troop doors, and a third escape rope by the forward crew access ladder. These ropes are usable because they hang free of the aircraft sides, and they're short. The cargo compartment is, of course, the largest of the three main areas in the aircraft, and usually filled with pallets or heavy outsized cargo. Only when the cargo compartment is used to transport troops will escape slides be installed at the troop doors. If the escape slides are installed, deploy them in the usual way as quickly and safely as you can, and get everybody out. Now let's look at the forward part of the cargo compartment. Remember that the forward crew entrance door and ladder are operated by hydraulic pressure. In an emergency, they could lose that pressure. If this happens, press the hydraulic control handle left of the door. If that doesn't open it, pull down the emergency handle to release the locks and kick the door out. What happened?
That's where Tony Ayers taught us something. You have to remember to kick that door high up to get the leverage to knock it out.
Yeah, you can't do it with short legs.
Why didn't the lower stairs extend?
You'll have to remember that the stairs are also on the same hydraulic pressure system. And if you don't have the pressure to get the door out, you won't have the pressure to extend the stairs. Just jump.
One way or another, you can get out of the C-5, whether on ground or in the water. But what about in flight? Air evacuation routes are specific. The primary exits for bailout are through the troop doors and the cargo compartment. The alternate bailout exit would be the aft cargo ramp. 3 short blasts on the horn tells you to get ready. 1 long blast means only one thing: bailout. That's about all of it, except we have some questions for you. Do you know how many crash axes, how many oxygen bottles, how many oxygen masks there are in the C-5? Where are the smoke masks? The fire extinguishers? And the first aid kits? Do you know what's in those kits and how to use them? Where are the emergency exit lights? How many are on board? Where are the life rafts and the life vests? If we tried to tell you where each one of these items is located in the aircraft, you'd be bored to death. But we can tell you this much to help you remember. Look on the sides of the aircraft and on the compartment walls for the oxygen bottles, masks, rechargers, fire extinguishers, first aid kits, and crash axes. Rafts are by the exits. Vests are under or behind the seats. Emergency lights are next to the exit door. Be able to find the equipment without hesitation. The C-5 is a great aircraft. The emergency egress system works. For your sake, we ask you to learn all about it before an emergency, not after.
Opening procedures for the aft cargo doors. Ramp manual locking pins removed and stowed. Pressure door side seals retracted, checked. A-valve safety guard checked, installed. Door lock status panel lights checked. Cargo door aft arming switch, ground arm. Number 1 hydraulic system pressurized. Aft scanner in position, doors clear. Ground control switch operate. Aft door operate switch open and off. As you can see, the aft doors have been modified. Each door assembly consists of a side door and center door half joined together by 5 side to center door hinges. Forward and aft swing arms are attached to each side door at the fuselage structure. These swing arms cause each center door half to partially fold under the side doors at the side to center door half hinge points. Caution: once initiated, the door operate switch must remain in the open position until the doors are fully open. Do not attempt to close the doors from any intermediate position. The closing cycle must be initiated from the fully open position to allow proper door sequencing. Note: allow 1 minute for the doors to start opening. If there are no indications of door movement after 1 minute, immediately place the switch to close. No further operation should be attempted until maintenance action has been accomplished. When the doors are fully open, the ramped armed light will come on. Opening procedures for truck loading, aft ramp and pressure door. Aft scanner in position, ramp and pressure door clear. Ramp select switch, drive in. Ramp operate switch, open and hold until the pressure door clears the retractable reaction rollers, then off. Caution: do not release the ramp operate switch while the ramp is opening and the ramp is approximately 4 to 5 inches from the fully closed position. Stop the ramp when the pressure door clears the retractable reaction rollers by releasing the ramp operate switch to the off position. Valve retractable reaction roller handle, roller retract. Place the valve retractable reaction roller manual handle to the roller retract position and retract the reaction rollers. Caution: the reaction rollers must be completely retracted to provide clearance for the pressure door to travel into position to engage the upper hinges. Ramp operate switch close. The pressure door will be in position to engage the upper hinge. Ramp select switch, truck. All operating steps completing the opening sequence are the same as for unmodified C-5 aircraft. We will not cover these steps. Before loading, refer to TO 1C5A-9-1 for loading restrictions in truck bed mode. Closing procedures for truck loading, aft ramp and pressure door. Closing procedures for truck bed are essentially the reverse of the opening sequence. After completing the preliminary checklist steps, retractable reaction rollers checked, retracted. Ensure that the valve retractable reaction roller manual handle is in the roller retract position and visually check that the reaction rollers are completely retracted. Caution: the reaction rollers must be completely retracted to provide adequate clearance for pressure door travel. Ramp operate switch, close and hold, then off. Ramp select switch, drive in. Retractable reaction rollers, checked, retracted. Ensure that the valve retractable reaction roller manual handle is in the roller retract position and visually check that the reaction rollers are completely retracted. Caution: the reaction rollers must be completely retracted to provide adequate clearance for pressure door travel. Ramp operate switch, open and hold until pressure door clears the retractable reaction rollers, then off. Stop the ramp when the pressure door clears the retractable reaction rollers by releasing the ramp operate switch to the off position. Valve retractable reaction roller handle, roller extend. Place the valve retractable reaction roller manual handle to the roller extend position to extend the reaction rollers. Caution: the reaction rollers must be completely extended to engage the pressure door and stop its forward travel. Ramp operate switch, close and hold, then off. Opening procedures for drive-in loading, aft ramp, movable pressure bulkhead, and pressure door. These procedures are very similar to normal opening procedures for drive-in loading, with the following notable exceptions. When the requirement to open the movable pressure bulkhead exists, accomplish the following. Movable bulkhead switch up and off. Hold the movable bulkhead switch to up. The movable pressure bulkhead will unlock and open, and the movable bulkhead not locked light will come on. When the movable pressure bulkhead is up and locked, the movable bulkhead up light will come on. Closing procedures for drive-in loading, aft ramp, movable pressure bulkhead, and pressure door. This procedure is also very similar to normal procedures for drive-in loading, with the following exceptions. Caution: the reaction rollers must be completely extended to engage the pressure door and stop its forward travel. Retractable reaction rollers, checked extended. Ensure that the valve retractable reaction roller manual handle is in the roller extend position and visually check that the reaction rollers are completely extended. When the movable pressure bulkhead has been opened, accomplish the following. Movable bulkhead switch down and off. Place and hold the movable bulkhead switch to down. The movable pressure bulkhead will unlock and move down. The movable bulkhead up light will go off. When the movable pressure bulkhead is down and locked, the movable bulkhead not locked light will go off. Closing procedures for the aft cargo doors. The closing sequence for the aft doors is essentially the reverse of opening. Caution: do not attempt to close the doors from any intermediate position. The closing cycle must be initiated from the fully open position to allow proper door sequencing.